SmackDown review for the August 8th episode of SmackDown. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling, huh?
On the heels of SummerSlam, the two-night SummerSlam, what would happen? What new roads would be paved heading into, I guess, Clash? That's right around the corner.
Yeah, we have a Cody Rhodes as champion. John Cena's back to being a face. Let's get after it. Thank you guys for stopping by the stream. YouTube.com, COD WrestlePod. We do Raw, SmackDown, all that good stuff. Let's get after it. Speaking of John Cena, he starts the show and he comes out. And I guess for now on, we are doing the his music hits. It's all black with the John Cena lettering on the screen. And then when the crescendo hits, boom, all the colors pop. And I mean, that's a fantastic idea by WWE. People go insane for it. So just small, subtle changes to the face John Cena, and it's really, really good just to start. He says, we've come a long way, and WWE's always been scared to come back here because they are in Montreal. Obviously, the Montreal screw job, because I think that the fans are going to hijack the show in this loud place. But he knows that that's what wrestling's all about. It's about the fans. It's about letting them hijack shows. And he said that you taught me how to lean into my fears and embrace them. But this whole thing doesn't last forever. And he mentions that he has only 11 appearances left after tonight. And he's afraid that he'll never be enough and that he'll let us down, us, the fans, down. And he's also afraid that we're going to forget about him when he's gone. And we're shedding tears. That would never happen, John. Don't you worry. He said he's also scared of Brock Lesnar. And he said he would never have chosen him as an opponent in this stage of his career. So he is kind of throwing quote unquote shade at the reports that Triple H kind of threw out this week about him choosing him as an opponent. But he will never back down from him being an opponent. And he's afraid that Brock now has a big John Cena problem. And Vain Cena's coming out. He's screaming to the crowd, talking about how if Brock Lesnar wants some, he can come and get some because he's coming guns blazing. And to add to that, if anybody else wants some, they can also come get some. And that's when Logan Paul's music hits. We're like, uh-oh. What's happening here? Mm-hmm. Logan Paul says, John, you make me sick. I don't even know who this John Cena is anymore. And he steps into the ring and Cena goes, watch out, Logan. You might be making a huge mistake. And Logan goes, you don't even know who you are anymore, John Cena. Hell, you said it yourself that I do this WWE thing better than anybody else, including you. And that's when Cena says, you are right. I did say that. But also now I'm saying, you're a total dumbass. Crowd goes crazy. Pretty fun stuff. Logan says, you are a liar. I am not a loser. I am the show, the whole show. And guess what? I want a match. And what better way or better place to have a match than a French-speaking place? And obviously the Canadians are going wild. And he says, in France. In France is where I want to fight you on the biggest stage at Clash in Paris. And John Cena, he says, you know what, you're on. And after he says you're on, Drew McIntyre attacks him. Bada bing, bada boom. That's when Cody Rhodes comes out to help John Cena. And we set ourselves up a big old tag team match for later in the night. Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul taking on John Cena and Cody Rhodes on a freaking SmackDown. I can't be happier about hearing that, man. John Cena, we only got 12 appearances, including today. And he's fighting on SmackDown. I'm down for it. So we're popping it, but the takeaway is John Cena versus Logan Paul is now official and scheduled for Clash at Paris. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to probably be upset about this in terms of, well, they're giving John Cena's greatest hits away. How can Logan Paul kind of take one, right? Out, we want Randy or we want an AJ or something like that, right? So your first reaction might be, well, damn you, Logan Paul. But at the same time, if you think about this, like, Logan's doing some of the best heel work in the business, right? And you really want to establish the babyface John. John has done the complete 180 into babyface, kissing babies, Super Cena. I'm here to stay. This is for you. Let's enjoy it. Let's have fun. And to be honest, like, what more fun can you have than John Cena beating up Logan Paul and getting the 1, 2, 3 on Logan Paul in France? That international crowd's going to go crazy for John Cena. It's going to be insane. So at first I might have been like, dang. Okay, that's what we're doing. But now that I sit here and think about it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take it for what it is. I'm going to get John Cena versus Logan Paul. And I'm going to root really hard for John Cena. And I'm going to cheer really hard for John Cena. And then when John Cena gets to 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be like, yeah, let's keep this going.
Yeah, I guess you can look at it in terms of like you just did, where it's like, well, how do you make sure that he is back to being a super duper face? Well, you face him off against the person that everybody like cusses out of the arena. I mean, they were having to literally mute the audio today because they are chanting "F you, Logan" so constantly in that arena. So you're gonna have a huge babyface versus huge heel rivalry going into Clash of Paris. So it's all gonna be good, and the match is gonna be great because Logan Paul delivers. And now that we know after SummerSlam, John Cena can still deliver, so it's going to be good. The only thing that I don't really like about it is that we do have Brock Lesnar that just ruined SummerSlam right at the end of it, the big moment. And again, it's one of those John Cena big story moments since he's returned where it's like, when is our payoff? Which is now further down the line. So it feels like, oh, we're looking at dates here, and we had Brock Lesnar penciled in for like ASAP. Most people said Clash. Well, it's not Clash, so we still got to get that down the road. So we got to keep that in our rearview mirror. So it's like, there's just a lot of juggling right now, so I would have liked Brock to go first, but I'm not going to complain. Logan Paul, John Cena, it's going to be good. I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess I had maybe kind of penciled the Brock Cena stuff in for Crown Jewel. And I'm not saying that like, you should be thankful or I know better than everybody. That's not the case. But I guess for me, I just didn't think that like, oh yeah, they're going to go fight in Paris. I don't know why. It seems like seems like a crown jewel match. I know it's in Perth versus like a Saudi show, but it seems like a crown jewel match.
I was under the impression of like, okay, so Brock's next, and then we'll move through that and we'll get to whatever's next. Yeah. And I was kind of just like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, it is, like you said, it is looming, and like basically, at the end of the match in Clash, like there's gonna be another attack.
Right.
and then you're like, okay, now we can get to it.
That's also the thing, is that we know the story beats that are coming. So like when you only have so many dates left, can we just hit the story beats and get to it? And then we can move on with other stuff that we haven't seen before. But we haven't seen this before. So beggars can't be choosers. Take everything, whatever.
And last little point before we move on, I know people are going to be upset about the Logan Paul getting put in a prominent position, but WWE has shown that they really trust Logan Paul, and he is like the mega heel going forward, right? So I think people are just going to have to kind of get used to that.
Also, he's earned the right. He's earned the right in a WWE ring perspective. I'm not including all the outside junk in a WWE environment. Logan Paul has performed every single time they've given him the big task. So I'm done doubting the dude in the ring. He's going to be able to put it over on a mic. He's going to be able to do his good stuff in the ring. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt from here on out. We did have our first match, though. Motor City Machine Guns taking on the MFTs, specifically Tala Tonga and JC Mateo. And Motor City Machine Gun, before the match, kind of had an interview where they were all taped up because obviously they went through hell, SummerSlam.
Fire and brimstone.
Yep, TLC match. They're banged up. So to banged up, Motor City Machine Guns taking on Tala Tonga, JC Mateo. Not a lot to write home about here. We did have Motor City Machine Gun able to kind of capitalize at moments and get offense in, look competent against what they're trying to do in WWE, which is build up this Tala Tonga guy, right? Tala Tonga, kind of the center focus of all this. JC Mateo gets beat up a little bit. You do have Solo and Tonga Low on the outside able to distract and take their cheap shots on Motor City Machine Guns. But eventually, Motor City Machine Guns is about to do their tag team finisher where one's on the top rope. Tala Tonga comes over, boots him, goes in the ring. I think it was Sabin who is the legal man. Tala Tonga picks him up 9 feet in the air, choke slams him down. 1, 2, 3. MFTs win the match. Not a ton to write about the match here. I'm going to go ahead and lean into a pop. Not something I'm ever going to watch again. Didn't dislike any of it. So we'll pop that.
Yeah, I'm going to slightly pop this one too. We keep saying MFTs need some sort of credibility. They need some sort of backing. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Motor City is a respectable tag team, a legendary tag team. If you look back at their TNA stuff, right? WWE, if you're new, just WWE fan, maybe you don't know the legacy of them, but they're one of the top ones of all time. So you get them to have a win. You get Tala Tonga being kind of like that enforcer. JC was the previous enforcer, but now he's not the giant. So like now he's not really an enforcer. So why is JC kind of there? That's kind of a weird pairing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're really trying to get Tala Tonga over as this giant force. And while you said, I'm not going to go back and watch this, this wasn't a 10 out of 10 in terms of, hey, this moved the needle for me that much. But it's like, okay, they're taking baby steps.
And it makes it a little bit better because after the match, Solo did proclaim that they are now a tag team. They're going to be future tag team champions, is what he said about Tala Tonga and JC Mateo. So now now not only are you trying to build them up, make them look good in the ring, you also now have a goal for them. So they're chasing gold. That adds a layer of interest and intrigue in it, because that tag division, you insert Tala Tonga in there, that's a completely different set of rules around that guy versus what we normally have, which is the high fly SmackDown craziness. So that's interesting to me. But he also starts to go on and say that no one is ready to fight the best U.S. champion, because he's dressed to fight. He's ready, but he doesn't want to fight in this disgusting town. He wants to get the hell out of here. But then Nick Aldis shows up and he says, no, Solo Sikoa, I do have a special guest ready to fight you. And in fact, he's Canada's own. Sami Zayn's music hits. Oh. And we were so excited and happy to see him. And he comes out. We got ourselves a match right after it. Bang, bang. Solo Sikoa versus Sami freaking Zayn here. And this was a Sami Zayn match. He starts out really hot. He goes for like a wild suicide dive, which the MFT didn't stop him from doing. And he hit it. So he just gets up, throws Solo in the ring, and kind of, threatens the MFT on the outside. But eventually Solo and MFT, they distract the ref, and MFT is able to beat up Sami so Solo can get some offense in here. But we come back from commercial break and Sami's back on the offensive. He does like a sunset flip powerbomb off the top rope to Solo, which was really cool. Like that type of stuff. It's awesome. Solo hits a spinning Solo, so we get back and forth. But eventually Solo goes for a spike. Sami kicks the spike away, and that's when the MFT starts one by one getting on the apron to distract. And he takes out Tongaloa because he's Tongaloa. And JC Mateo gets up there, at one point an enforcer, but Sami's able to get rid of him real quick too. And that's when Tala Tonga gets on the apron, and that earns enough respect from Sami to not just bum rush him, right? He's kind of looking at Tala like, you want some, come get some. That's when Solo comes over to try to get a spike because his boy Tala is getting the distraction. Sami drops down, rolls up Solo Sikoa, your United States champion. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn beats Solo Sikoa, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm gonna pop the match because it was fun. The interaction from the crowd was great, but I'm dropping the whole Sami Zayn beating Solo Sikoa thing. I mean, come on, come on, pop and drop.
Yeah, you said you don't know how to feel about it. I'll tell you how to feel about it. It's ass. That's how you feel about it. I didn't like it at all. Yeah, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Montreal zone, I get that. The hometown kids got to get the pop, and I like that. You want that type of stuff. Those types of moments. I mean, Sami deserves something like that, right? So awesome. That's great. Have him do it after the show. Have him do it before. I don't know, something. But for him to go after this whole faction that you're trying to build up, and then seemingly he manhandles the whole faction, and then he rolls up your U.S. champ, where you were trying to give Solo some sort of credibility after SummerSlam, and then it feels like that's just gone out the window, and it feels like it's just a joke, Solo Sikoa again. So, again, I'm probably a little bit more critical of Sami Zayn. I'm kind of out on the whole Sami Zayn thing, and stuff like this doesn't do it any favors, right? But cool moment for him, I'm sure. I'm sure it was awesome for him to be in the hometown, right? That's awesome. That's great. But in terms of just like the bigger picture stuff, like this would have been great if this is a house show. And it's a house show that happens to be in Sami's hometown, something like that. That would have been awesome. It would have been great. But in terms of on SmackDown, I don't think it's even going to lead anywhere. Maybe Sami is on SmackDown, you said. Maybe he's coming for the U.S. title. I don't really know. But you're supposed to be building up MFT and Solo Sikoa, and you didn't do that.
Yeah, people are probably going to come at us and say like, oh, you guys are just Sami Zayn haters. It's not hating Sami Zayn. It's the same thing when back in the day with like the Terror Twins with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And it's not to that extent, right? Like Sami's not getting big time title shots with Cody Rhodes and all of them yet, right? So I'm not going to put it to that extreme, but it is like there's this layer of just invulnerability he has. He's just invincible. Like there's no reason at this time and place when the whole point of the entire segment is like establishing the MFT as being competent human beings. We're going after gold now. We're going to go after gold as a group now with Solo being your leader. And yes, Solo is still the funny guy that's going to take losses here and there, but Sami comes out to these giant, he's doing those amazing facial expressions. Sami comes out to this massive ovation from the crowd. I mean, big time pop, as he should. He's in his hometown. Things are great. He loses nothing here from losing. It's still a fantastic moment. The match was a lot of fun. Just, he got distracted by 3 guys on the outside. the entire MFT. There's no shame in losing that match. So if from a nerd perspective here of looking way too far into WWE storylines, I just look at it and I'm like, it doesn't make any damn sense. But then there's another side that is like, just will have fun with it. It's a fun moment. But at this point, I want Solo to get a little bit more credibility. And if 3 guys are going to try to help him get the win, just have the man get the win real quick and have us celebrate Sami after the match. It's that simple.
Yeah, and, Sami wrestles Monday against Rusev on Raw. So we have that coming up. I believe they're in Quebec again.
Yeah,
I believe. So I'm not sure. But you look at it that way, too. Like, the whole thing with Sami was like, does he turn bad? Do those thoughts kind of creep into his head? But then he does stuff like this, and you're like, well, no.
That's out the window.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, there's never any thought. There never will be any thought, and this is what you get,
Agreed. We had a Wyatt 6 promo video afterward. They all took turns. I don't remember who said what, but so every line that I say is separated. Each member of Wyatt 6 gets to talk here, which I thought was really cool. They said that we speak the truth. The powers of the tag division are harmless and they're all illusions. This is not about power or fear. It's bigger than fear. There are many lessons and our story has yet to begin. So this was good. There's not much else to say. I'm not going to pop or drop it, but being able to at least see all of them talk for once is something. I like that.
Yeah, I think it went Howdy, Gacy, Nikki Cross, Loomis, Rowan.
Good call.
In that order. But
that.
we asked for more stuff and it's cool that they got, you get to hear from everybody. To me though, they said stuff without saying anything.
Yeah.
I didn't really get it.
Because then we go backstage and Street Profits were listening and BFAB's like, what the hell do they mean? And we're like, oh, yep, speak for us.
And I guess that's maybe the point.
Yeah. DIY walks in with Candice LeRae, who's got a huge bruise from her spot. And they're all arguing about the safety that Candice was put in during the match on taking that ladder spot. And the Profits are like, well, your freaking husband did it. And they're arguing. Nick Aldis walks in, sets up a tag match for next week between the two of them. So that's going to happen. Then what I thought was the most fun segment of the night happened. Charlotte Flair comes out with Alexa Bliss tag champs because it's gift time. Charlotte has gotten Alexa Bliss some gifts.
It's her birthday.
It's her birthday. Yeah. So their celebration is happening on her birthday. Charlotte Flair made that. It's not a birthday celebration. It's their tag team championship celebration. And there's a cake and there's a gift. And the cake, the cake in big letters says, congratulations, Charlotte. And then a little letter says, and happy birthday, Alexa. It's so good. But Charlotte says she's in a giving mood and she gives the cake to Alexa. And Alexa's just like, oh, so, you couldn't have shouted me out a little bit more there. And then Charlotte's like, no, it's all good. And Charlotte comes over and says, open this gift. And Alexa's like, keeps pushing the gift away. She's like, we're tag partners. Like, we don't need to be getting each other gifts. And Charlotte's like, it's fine. Just open it. You know what? I'll open it for you. She ends up giving Alexa a Lily doll, her Lily doll that she carries out all the time. It now has a shirt that says, we're not friends. The ones that they wear, their merch. But then she also gave her the old doll that I guess we don't remember, but a long time ago when they were feuding, Alexa had given Charlotte a doll too, Charlie, the doll, which is basically a Lily doll. And Charlotte has now gifted it back to Alexa with its own shirt. We're not friends. So the gift to Alexa is 2 dolls and everything. So we're all good. And then Charlotte says, I don't need a thank you. I don't need any of that. I just need one thing from you. And Alexa's like, what do you need? And Charlotte's like, I want you to hug me. You're allowed to hug me now. Come give me a big hug. And the crowd's cheering for it. We all want it. And Alexa is like cautiously scooting up when Chelsea Green, of course. Who else can ruin the moment? Chelsea Green comes out. She says, you Canadians cheering them makes me want to give away my Canadian passport. She says, get your tacky dolls out of here. We should be celebrating me, who's Celine Dion. Like, she's putting herself over everybody. And that's when Charlotte challenges Chelsea Green to a fight. Nick Aldis says, deal. We get to fight.
He doesn't just say deal. He also comes out and says, Alexa, I got you a gift. It's a new referee for this match for Charlotte, which doesn't even make sense because why is that Alexa's gift?
The ref had a gift wrap bow on him. So Nick wrapped a bow for Charlotte or for Alexa, I guess. But we'll get into the match in a minute. But this segment, pops, man. Pops through the roof, right?
Yeah, you got to pop this. I mean, this is up with Team Hell No or the List of Jericho, like just a funny, comedic, back and forth friendship. This is awesome stuff. They're continuing to go deeper and deeper into this stuff. The more segments I can get like this, the better.
Yeah, this whole new... Charlotte's doing most of the comedic work. which is crazy to think. Like you would have thought that maybe Alexa would do a lot of this, and then Charlotte would slowly ease her way into it and get comfortable. Charlotte is just taking the lead on the comedy, doing it, going through the roof with it. It's incredible. I love every second of it.
And I think that's probably what makes it so good.
Yeah.
Is it's so kind of unexpected. And you're like, man, this is the same Charlotte Flair that won the Rumble and was trash talking about Kaiser being in DMs, but now she's wanting hugs from Alexa Bliss. Like just the complete 180.
180. Awesome. Before the match, real quick, we did have Mello don't miss. He walks up to Nick Aldis's office when The Miz walks out, and he's like, "Where the hell have you been? You told me you were going to take me to the top, but obviously not, so I'm going to go demand a U.S. title shot." And The Miz is like, No. I already talked to Nick Aldis, and we're going to be in a tag match next week because that's where we belong to be. It's basically with each other. And that's when Mello is basically kind of threatens him, like, this is kind of like your last shot with me, Miz. He walks away, but then Nick Aldis walks up to The Miz, and The Miz is like, okay, I need to talk to you.
And Nick Aldis is not in his office.
Yeah, not in his office. So The Miz didn't talk to anybody. He's lying to Mello. More on that next week, probably. But then we get our Charlotte versus Chelsea Green match, which this was absolutely great. I mean, Charlotte and Chelsea Green, they put on a show. I would like to see these guys in a proper feud down the road, but the good stuff happens at the end because Chelsea Green gets the advantage over Charlotte for a minute. And they have the podium out where they normally put the title belts during a title match, right? They have the podium there, but the freaking cake is there that Charlotte got Alexa. And Chelsea plants Charlotte and then looks over to the Secret Service and says, get the cake. And it's like, why? But they don't just get the cake. They put it in Alba's hand, and then Piper picks up Alba by the feet and like rows her in
so
there.
she can get so the cake can get closer in the ring.
She pushes her all the way to Chelsea in the middle of the ring so Chelsea can get the cake. And then of course that's when Alexa takes out the Secret Service with like an apron, rolling dive off the top. And then Chelsea sets up the cake in the middle to do an unprettier to Charlotte on top of the cake. But of course, it's Chelsea Green. She's going to eat the cake spot, right? So Charlotte reverses the unprettier into her own unprettier, hits it on Chelsea, and Chelsea sells it like she died. It was amazing. She's got the cake all over her face. Charlotte then puts her in a figure four, and takes her finger and gets the icing off of Chelsea's face and starts eating it as she's got the figure four leg lock locked in. Chelsea taps immediately. She rolls out. Alexa and Charlotte are like picking the pieces up off the ground and feeding it to each other. I mean, this is just spectacular stuff. I mean, golden pop if I could. I thought this is just goofy wrestling at its best.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's not much more to really add. I mean, it was a great match, like the little bit that we did actually get. And then you get the comedic relief of not only Chelsea Green, but Secret Service. Like, I think Secret Service are subtly, like quietly becoming some of my favorites because they're like that Chelsea Green maximizer of minutes comedy effect is really going off on the Secret Service. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I really thought at one point, hey, these are serious contenders for like the tag titles. But I've just come to the conclusion, like, no, when they're on screen, I'm going to laugh, and that's fine. I'm okay with it, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. That was a pairing in heaven tonight. It was like the newfound comedy gold that Charlotte and Alexa found, matched with just the charisma and comedy that is Chelsea Green and the Secret Service. It paired perfectly. The cake spot was perfect. It was just a perfect segment. Just perfectly booked. Perfect. Loved it. Tiffany's backstage with I don't know who it was. Was it Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
It was Kathy
of
Kelly?
course it's Kathy.
Yeah, it was Kathy Kelly, and she basically asked Tiffany, what's next? And she says, well, what's next is I'm keeping this title, and I'm going to defend it against everybody. And that's when Jade shows up and says, you wouldn't have that title if your feet didn't hit the rope. It's like, well, Jade, you rolled her up and put her feet on the rope, kind of, so it's your fault more than anybody's. Hearsay. And she says the story will end differently next time. And Tiff says, no, it won't end differently because it'll end with me still being champion.
I did like that line from Tiffany.
Yeah, it was good.
Like the story's not going to, the story might change, but the outcome remains the same. I'm like, oh, I like that. Yeah, I did like that little line.
Tiff Cook.
Little line.
That's when Kiana James and Julia walked up and they handed Jade a business card. And basically Kiana James was trying to recruit Jade, which was really interesting for a second, but then Michin walked up and was like, you going to use that card? Because I'm going to go use it to get a U.S. title match. And Jade was like, go ahead and have it. And they walked away. So next step for Jade is probably still, or Tiff is probably still Jade in one way, shape, or form, but we don't have enough info yet to really know.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway is what's next is Michin, U.S. title.
Like you called.
Obviously, just like I said it. I do really, I think that is probably what we get. It seems like that is the thing. But I like the idea that I gave to you that I think Jade continues to kind of come up short and come up short and come up short. And then it just eats at her and eats at her. And then Kiana's like, hey, remember me? Remember me? Remember me? I'm not done. Like, I can help you out. And I really like that. And then you can kind of lean really into that Jade Cargill heel element.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Not much else to say on it. We got a cool Aleister Black promo where he does talk about, because he did injure Damian Priest, fractured his jaw with the kick last week. And he talked about how he says that he uses violence, but that doesn't make him evil. Damian was trying to put him through a table, so he matched violence with violence and ended up fracturing his jaw. And he says the difference between him and Damian is that when someone pushes Damian, Damian steps up. But when someone pushes Aleister, he pushes them off the cliff. So more to come from them as well.
Yeah.
Then a nice little segment here, very quick. John Cena's walking to the ring, and he walks up to R-Truth. They start mimicking each other. He puts his hand up. R-Truth puts his hand up. And Cena, they hug, they embrace. And Cena's like, I was worried about you there, man. For like 5 months, you had cut your hair. You made a little boy cry in Brussels. You were telling everybody that you wanted to ruin wrestling. I was worried about you. That was a little weird. So I'm glad to see you're back to yourself. And he walks away. So it looks like not only are we throwing away John Cena's heel turn, but we're throwing away R-Truth's heel turn as well. That was great.
Yeah. I mean, what more else can you say? You get two beloved characters, and I think everybody was kind of like, yeah, R-Truth, like heel R-Truth. That was awesome. That was great. Well, they've done nothing really since then, and everybody's like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And then you have John Cena come back, and they're basically, like you said, they're being the same guy. John Cena kind of gaslights him a little bit because Truth will believe just about anything. We can look back at the history of time with R-Truth for that. And yeah, you just get like a fun little segment, and then hopefully we get R-Truth dressing up in the Cena gear. And we really just kind of enjoy it for maybe one last run, one last little time here and there.
Yeah, people are going to probably be angry because it's going to be like, really, you wasted all the potential that R-Truth had during the heel turn. And like, I see where you're coming from, but it's been a while since the last time we saw R-Truth. Obviously, the heel turn from him was kind of a pivot anyways, and they didn't really know what to do with it. It kind of feels exactly like John Cena's heel turn, right? Like, it was really good for the little split second that we had, but like, we didn't have long-term plans. We just can't do the long-term plans with it. So screw it. Let's go back to what the fans know and love, and like, to do it with John Cena, bring it up as if John Cena turning heel was also the catalyst for R-Truth turning heel, as if they're one person. And it continues the whole R-Truth biggest fan of Cena forever thing. It was just a cute little moment. It's like, I'm not going to dig too far into it. The R-Truth heel turn's not happening again. We're back to R-Truth. We're back to John Cena. Let's just accept it, have fun with it, move on.
Yeah, and that makes me wonder kind of like how all in or bought in either WWE was or wasn't, or maybe Ron was or wasn't. Like, I don't really know, but go back to what everybody knows, what everybody loves. And at the end of the day, like, WWE right now is really doing a great job on like pulling on a lot of heartstrings, and like, man, I love Cena stuff. I love True stuff, the comedy gold, like we just talked about with Charlotte and Chelsea, things like that. Like, I just find it really fun when that's the case. And that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. Then we get our main event, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre versus John Cena and Cody Rhodes. And we looked at our clocks after the entrances, and we're like, they have like 9 minutes. Let's see how this is. And this was Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul starting the match. Cody going through his greatest hits until obviously Drew McIntyre gets involved. And then Drew and Logan beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes for a lot of it. We get ourselves a John Cena hot tag with a couple minutes left. Cena walks in, hits a 5-knuckle shuffle on Logan Paul. Hits the AA, but then Drew breaks up the pin and all hell breaks loose. Cody and Drew go to the outside. Logan Paul and John Cena stand up. Logan Paul low blows John Cena right in the nuts. A little taste of his own medicine from his heel turn, kind of. So ding, ding. I mean, it was right in front of the ref's face. Disqualification. John Cena and Logan Paul spill out of the ring down the ramp. Out back.
They're gone.
They're gone. See ya. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, they're still on the outside fighting away. And Cody gets the advantage for a moment, and he goes to clear the announce table to do something to Drew. When all of a sudden, Drew out of nowhere smacks him over the face with the title. It's like he knows what that title feels like all over his face at this point. I mean, he knows the taste, all of it.
Maybe he should have that tattooed instead of that.
He's gonna have it tattooed after he gets hit. After he gets hit with it so much.
Bang. Jesus. Big W.
He gets smacked, and then Drew takes a moment, and he realizes he's got the WWE Championship in his hands for the first time in years. And he sits there, and he sits on the stairs with it, and he's looking at it, giving it a long look. And Cody's kind of like, on the ground, leaning against the announce table where the SmackDown logo is, like on the actual side of it.
Yeah, on the front.
Like on the front of it. Yeah, and Drew puts the title down, claymores Cody right in the face through the side of the announce table, which is really cool. I had never seen that type of spot. He gets down on all knees into Cody's ear and he says, I told you I wanted you to win so I could come for that title. So SmackDown ends with Drew McIntyre getting the best of Cody Rhodes, which looks like it's leading to only one thing: Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes in Paris. Give me that all day. Popping it.
Yeah, I feel like you have to pop this. This is something we've all kind of been asking for. It's Drew McIntyre back in the title scene. Now, people might go on the other side and say, well, Drew's not going to win because it's Cody Rhodes' first defense. Yeah, I understand that. But it is also nice to see Drew McIntyre back in the title scene. Take it for what it's worth. Him versus Cody, that's going to be great. The promo work's going to be great, even though it's going to be kind of short because it's a few weeks away, right? And we all know the winner. Match is going to be good. It's nice to see them kind of putting some more faith back in Drew McIntyre. Hopefully we can kind of get some more of this down the road. But sign me up, Cody and Drew.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. It is kind of like, okay, it's going to be Cody's first defense, so we kind of know the outcome here probably. But me being hopeful, I think that we could really run this to be like a 2 or 3 match, 2 or 3 month long feud between the two of them. They have everything in the tank to do so. I was so ecstatic when I sat there and saw Drew looking at the title. I was like, yes, it's been too long since he was doing something like that. So I'm immediately invested in this. They're going to have phenomenal matches. They're going to have phenomenal promos between the two of them. Couldn't be happier. Couldn't ask for a better first feud for Cody Rhodes' second title reign. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll even take some sort of like wonky finish here.
Yeah,
just so we can continue to get more and more and more of this. Because you really look at the SmackDown roster and it's like, well, if it's not Drew, who's it going to be?
Yeah, 100%.
MFTs? I don't think so.
Sami Zayn. Oh, no. Okay. 11 pops, 2 drops. I thought this was a fun episode of SmackDown. I had a lot of fun. You were.
I would probably not go that high, but there were some good moments.
I thought it was fun. It was a lot of fun watching it with all of you guys on our stream on youtube.com/COD Thank you for showing up. Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs. And then for everything else, it's at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. We have a link tree in our bio to take you everywhere, including our TikToks, where we have a new TikTok. It's called COD WrestlePod Reacts, where you can see our live reactions from Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs with actual footage. So go ahead and check that out as well. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.